You're the ones who have awakened to the point where you can receive a message like this and say, yes, that is me. I do feel that this is part of my mission on earth. And so you receive our invitations for upgrades to your heart chakras. We are very excited about the progress that we see humanity making. And we are also very excited to see which of the many different timelines you have in front of you. We hear the pleas from so many of you that are asking for something that will force people to have a more heart-centered perspective and to treat others as they would like to be treated. But we cannot do that. And we do not want to rob anyone of their growth experience. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott, and it is a beautiful day to read some more channelings. Today we're reading from the Arcturian Council. This comes from a book called Ascension, The Shift to the Fifth Dimension, Volume 2. This focuses on ascension, love, reality creation, a number of amazing topics. The Arcturian Council are a group of higher dimensional beings channeled through Daniel Scranton. Be sure to check out my previous interviews with Daniel. You can see his very unique channeling style. As with any channeled information, if it does not resonate with you, simply let it go, ignore it. It doesn't matter. The intention of this is to speak to someone who is at a certain place in their spiritual path, wanting to awaken or having awakened, desiring to be of service and moving into this shift into a higher dimension that we're experiencing for many on planet Earth. The Arcturian Council. When we meet you in your dream state, greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We have been connecting with so many of you while you are asleep, and we've been gathering information from you, as well as the perspectives that you hold on what is most needed there on planet Earth. And we are happy to report that the vast majority of you are aware of the need for more compassion in the human consciousness. You have lived enough life to see when someone is not offering that compassion that is necessary to be heart-centered. And you are growing tired of witnessing what happens when a person is so disconnected from their emotional center. And so we hear the pleas from so many of you that are asking for something that will force people to have a more heart-centered perspective and to treat others as they would like to be treated. But we cannot do that. And we do not want to rob anyone of their growth experience. What we offer are invitations, and those invitations are meant to attract individuals who are ready to be more compassionate and more heart-centered. Because you are awake can tip the scales. You can hold so much compassion and unconditional love in your hearts that the entire human collective benefits. You can be the ground crew for beings like us and hold that space for your fellow humans. You can help bring about peace and harmony there on Earth by exemplifying what you want to see more of in others. When you see the sociopath running wild and doing all sorts of horrible things, the urge is just to stop the person from having access to other people, potential victims, so that person has to be incarcerated or in extreme cases put to death for certain people to feel better about what they have witnessed. But you cannot forget the existence of these individuals as if they've somehow been erased from society. Another one will just pop up until enough of you come together and hold that compassion for someone who doesn't deserve it at all. You're the ones who have awakened to the point where you can receive a message like this and say, yes, that is me. I do feel that this is part of my mission on Earth, and so you receive our invitations for upgrades to your heart chakras. You receive our downloads and activations, and you become even more compassionate, even more heart-centered, and you show even more empathy for everyone regardless of what they have done. And you are going to help shift the consciousness of the human collective. You are doing it. and more of you awaken every day and realize that the only solution to the problems of the world is love. And when you are love, you naturally feel compassion. You naturally empathize, and you want to help others to heal rather than just seeking to put them far, far away from the rest of you. And is this approach to moving humanity forward that we are such big proponents of? So when you connect with us and you feel the energy that we are giving off, you bring that back to the fourth dimensional earth, and you help so many with your presence, with your intention, and with your compassion that you so easily access within you. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Light workers of the world, greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are very excited about the progress that we see humanity making. And we are also very excited to see which of the many different timelines you have in front of you that you will choose. It is an exciting time to be a human living on Earth because of the tremendous leaps forward that you still have in front of you. And we are quite interested to see exactly how you're going to make such gigantic leaps forward in your evolution. We know that you are sensing and seeing the subtle changes that we also detect. And we know that many of you are waiting for something very big to happen to propel you into the next level of your consciousness. We suspect that you are going to find yourselves living in a much different world 1 year from today. And we believe that the movement forward that will be very large in scope is coming from all of you who are working as individuals on holding space for your fellow humans. It would have been very easy for those of you who are awake to have thrown your hands up by now and said, "There is no hope for my species." But you have not done this. You may have your moments of doubt and fear, but you all continue to hold space for the collective. And we see this choice as having the biggest impact of all. The work that you do on yourselves is of course very important, but you ultimately will be called upon to assist others who at this time would be unable to hear you or benefit from what you would offer. But the times, they are changing, and you can rest assured that the grassroots movement of the light workers of the world is having the gargantuan effect that we can sense. Now, when you are sitting at home in a room in the dark and doing the work that you need to do on yourselves, it is of course hard to see how that equates to a movement forward in the evolution of consciousness there on Earth. But if you consider how many humans are doing the exact same thing at that time and holding space for the rest of the human collective consciousness, you then can see that this is a group effort. It's a group effort there on the ground where you are, and it's a group effort up here where we are as we continue to connect with other councils, collectives, federations, and wise beings to contemplate what it is that humanity needs the most. We make our determination of that on a day-to-day basis, and we are not alone. We suggest that you look around every day at your world and see where the most love and compassion is needed. And that's where you will be sending the energies that are coming in and moving through you, the ones who are there to make the biggest difference for the entire collective. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Romantic relationships are changing. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are very excited about the progress that we see you all making in your relationships with one another. There has been a greater understanding within the human collective consciousness about the boundaries that are necessary in a relationship, as well as the need for communication and the expression of feelings. This has increased in recent months on your world. It is becoming more common knowledge that emotions are important and that they need to be discussed. You also become aware as a collective some time ago about the need for independence and the problematic nature of codependence, and so we see you all moving towards healthier relationships where you understand that neither of you is supposed to complete the other. You are also getting more fluid and flexible in your ideas about gender, and that means the man or the masculine one in the relationship doesn't necessarily have to be the sole provider or even the one who makes the majority of the money. And we are talking about relationships where there is one who identifies as male or masculine. Certainly there are relationships where both parties identify as feminine, and certainly relationships are very present where both parties are in female bodies. We are just using the masculine and male example here to illustrate a point. And so when you are more flexible about who does the laundry and who does the dishes, you have a more cooperative relationship where you discuss these things. You don't have to go into a relationship with an understanding that these tasks over here go to you because of your gender identity, and these tasks over here go to me because of my gender identity. Instead, we are seeing the progressive way of thinking about what is male and masculine, or what is male and feminine, and so on is being questioned, and you all are giving yourselves the opportunity to express how you want to physically. Now, traditionally, you have the individual who identifies as more feminine being one who expresses emotion, and the one who identifies as more masculine being the one who is strong and silent, holding it all in, doesn't have time for emotions. This is a problematic experience for everyone involved, and it is one whose time is up. Because people in all walks of life now are recognizing the importance of communication and the expression of feelings. You also have seen over the time frame in which you've been exploring different types of romantic relationships, the tendency for one person to quote unquote wear the pants in the family. And what that has translated to for many is that one person is dominant and the other is a doormat. We are seeing less and less of you putting up with a dominant partner. And all that we are saying now extends beyond a romantic relationship and into relationships between siblings and friends and all sorts of different types of relationships that you have. There needs to be balance. There needs to be communication. And there needs to be boundaries at times when one person is attempting to assert a level of dominance over the other. So having all of these understandings makes for better relationships with each other and brings you closer to knowing yourselves as whole, complete, sovereign beings who can express yourselves no matter who or what your identity is. And this is good for all of humankind, not just the high divorce rate that you have amongst married couples. This is good for all types of relationships, and this is something that will continue to evolve as you evolve. And when you see relationships changing and shifting, you can rest assured that it is due to an uptick in your overall vibration as a human collective. There are very encouraging things that we see, and we are very much looking forward to where you all go next. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Divinity in your food and water. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We have done our research on what makes human beings tick, and we have come to understand that it is not the same thing for all of you. This makes it more challenging for beings like ourselves to reach all of humanity, and that is the case because of the diversity within the human race. Now, as we have said before, we see your diversity as a beautiful thing. It is a strength. It is to be celebrated, and it also is making our job harder. And so we must turn to something that is more subtle than providing you with an incentive to be more of who you are. We are working with the vibration of your food supply and your water supply to help all of you remember who you really are. Now, everything is part of source energy, but not everything is under that impression. And so even something like food and water can be reminded of its divinity. These are activations. The food and water is getting the activations necessary to get to all of humanity. Not everyone is capable of receiving our energy transmissions, and of course, it is a very small percentage of you who are receiving these transmissions. And all we really want any of you to recognize is your own divinity and your own power to create your reality. And so we are working with the food and water supply energetically. Animals, plants, and water are very happy to receive what it is we offer energetically. They are very easy to remind of their divinity, even if they are being bred and raised just to be food on someone's table at some point. Now, those of you who are eating as naturally as you can are going to benefit from this more. There are foods, of course, that are so highly processed and chemically laden that are hardly containing any of the water, plant, and animal substances that go into more natural foods. So if you eat more healthy foods, you're more likely to benefit from this little experiment. And then you're more likely to awaken that truth within yourself and live it. The truth, again, that we want to share with as many humans as possible is that you are source energy beings in physical bodies. And when you go beyond knowing that, when you actually live it and breathe it, you transform your world and everyone else in it, no matter what they are eating or not eating. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. How we measure your progress. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are very satisfied with the progress that we see all of you making on a day-to-day basis. We know that it is more challenging for you to track that progress since you are living every moment of every day, and you don't see the massive changes in your outside world that have been predicted over and over again. We also know that many of you struggle to feel that you are where you are supposed to be because you don't have all of the spiritual gifts and abilities that you desire. And yet you do have hope, and you do have the desire to keep moving forward, to keep seeking that progress, and to keep looking for the evidence in the outside world that humanity is moving forward towards the positive future that you all envision. We want you to consider that for a moment. Consider the fact that all of you are focusing on a positive future, and that positive future isn't just about you and your loved ones getting what you want. You are focused on a positive future where everyone in the entire world has enough food, enough clothing, has adequate shelter, is free, is respected, loved, able to express their creativity. The power of a collective desire like that for human collective is more strong and more powerful than a desire for an individual to win lotteries, to be able to travel to wherever he or she wants, and so on. So the progress really is measured in the desire that have evolved within each and every one of you who is awake. When you were a child, you desired to have that toy that everyone was talking about. When you were a young adult, perhaps your desire was to be in that romantic relationship that you saw portrayed on movie screens. Now, as you mature and you realize that there is great suffering in the world, you focus on being a citizen of the same world and what you can do to help. This is why we always come to you with the expression of our perspective that things are getting better there on Earth. We measured your progress and your willingness to speak up and stand up for what you believed was right. We measure your progress in how much compassion you feel for your fellow humans, and we measure your progress in the examination of your desires, which, as we have said, demonstrate an evolution of consciousness. Your evolution of consciousness isn't just about you having the skills and abilities you want. Your evolution of consciousness is about you recognizing that we are all one and that we are all in this together. Together we make a difference. And that is why we shower you with energetic downloads. That is why you receive so much support from the Ascended Masters. That is why you are constantly held in unconditional love by the Archangels. We are all working together to bring about peace on Earth and to ignite the flame within you that recognizes yourself and everyone else as source energy. And we see more of you resonating with that message than ever before. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Earth's Ascension. Next steps. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We have decided that there is enough movement forward within the human collective consciousness to give you this next bit of information. The significance of your planetary ascension has not been adequately described to you, and we aim to do that. Your ascension there on Earth as a collective, an ascension that includes Mother Earth herself, is the fastest ever in the history of the universe. From the time that humans first emerged there on Earth to now, the time where you are on the precipice of shifting is an extremely short amount of time to have elapsed to go from where you were to where you're going. Now, when you think about how many years that is, and then you think about how many years it has been since you have known that you are shifting in this lifetime, it is not asking too much of you to be patient. And it is certainly not asking you too much, all of you, to be patient with the rest of the human collective. After all, they are you. The illusion of separation should have hit you all by now, and the fact that you are all one should be more than just a nice mantra. You really are shifting together as a collective because you are connected. And as you do, you let go of the illusion of separation. You let down your guard and you recognize yourself in all others and all others in yourself. That expedites the process of ascension. It's not just about you, the awakened ones, doing all the heavy lifting and carrying the load for the rest of humanity. It's also about recognizing that you are there to help each other, and that help must be extended to everyone in order to fully know yourself as a source energy being in a physical body. Source energy does not exclude. Source energy is not awaiting the mass arrests before allowing the good ones to ascend. Source energy is dancing the dance, and all of the music is playing inside of you. This is the next step in your evolution, and this is what will carry the rest of humanity along for the ride with you. Whether they are awake or asleep, whether they care at all about equality or want there to be clarity, define hierarchy, everyone must be included in your hearts, not just your beloveds. And that is the force that will create the momentum that will catapult Earth and everyone on it into the fifth dimension. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Why you haven't ascended yet? Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are quite certain that you are making the progress necessary to ascend, both as individuals and as a collective. We've been noticing how well you are all able to assimilate the higher frequency energies that have been coming in to support you. If you as a collective were unable to deal with these energies, the conditions on Earth would be far, far worse. Therefore, you can rest assured that everything is moving forward nicely for the human collective. The victories are what you want to focus on in order to stay positive. It would be easy to fall into a pit of despair if you only looked at the negative aspects of what is going on there. Now, we are not saying that you should all ignore those things. They are happening so that you can see where you can do the most good, where to send the most love and healing energy, and for whom to feel the most compassion. There are other reasons why those things are happening as well, but you have to look at why they become a part of your awareness. So what is necessary to remain confident in the movement forward that the human collective consciousness is making is that you need to look at the acts of kindness and take note of the changes that you are making within yourselves. Notice when someone in your life has made a significant improvement in their vibration. Celebrate each time you hear about someone waking up to the truth that we are all source energy beings in this universe, having experiences to know ourselves as unconditional love. Helping others awaken has never been easier, but you will find that your real work there is not to spread the good news and become a missionary. Your work is to continue to assimilate these higher frequency energies and then go out and sing and dance and play. Write about your experiences, write stories of fiction. Create to express the truth that you have tapped into, that we are all one, and that there is always hope. There's always a spark of light, even in the darkest of situations and circumstances. And you are there, as the awakened ones, whose mission it is to add more light where it is most needed. And you also are there to demonstrate to the rest of the collective that there is plenty of light in most areas in the world. There are plenty of reasons to celebrate that you are all still there on Earth, ascending together as a collective. And as you recognize that your ascension is not about leaving anyone out or behind, you realize why you haven't ascended yet. And you know that you have more work to do. But that work can be fun, it can be fulfilling, and it can bring you closer together with people that you previously would not have imagined you would ever have anything in common with. When we see people coming together from opposite ends of any spectrum, that is what brings us the most joy here in the ninth dimension. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. How much is enough? Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We have an abundance of clarity when it comes to our approach to serving humanity. We always are seeking for more of that clarity, however. Now, we have noticed that many of the awakened are unclear about how you all want to be of service. Or to say it in a better way, what's the best way for you to be of service to humanity? We notice this, and our compassion for you in those moments is real, and it is also abundant. If you can recognize that even the Arcturian Council is seeking to find the best ways to be of service to humanity, then perhaps you can realize that for you as an individual to have that all figured out right now is a tall order. You may not ever feel that you are doing enough to serve humanity, but the bigger picture here is that you may never feel that you are enough. And that is something that we advise you look at. We want for all of you to feel that you are enough. We want you to feel that your presence there on earth is enough. And we want you to rest assured that we see you as enough. We keep telling you over and over that it's not about what you do, but we will say it again because we really want you to hear it. It's not about what you do. Sit quietly and hold compassion and love in your hearts. Seek to have peace within you. Intend for the universe to give everyone exactly what they need, and open yourselves up to receiving the high frequency energies that keep coming in so that you can be conduits for that energy and let go of this need to do something. Or let us say it another way. Let go of the need to do the perfect or best thing that you could possibly do. If you see a homeless person on the sidewalk and you think that giving that person money isn't enough, but you give the money and walk away, then you are technically correct. There is more that you could do in that situation. You could talk to the person. You could listen to their story. You could take them home, bathe them, and feed them, and give them a place to sleep. But you have to operate within your comfort level in that situation, and you have to let yourself off the hook for not being perfect. You have to live your lives, and you have to live your lives from wherever you are. And so if you cannot open that healing center that you want so much to open tomorrow, then just ask yourself what you can do to help, and let that answer be enough. If you don't, you won't find that peace within you. And if you don't find that peace within you, then you're putting out that vibration of being unsettled. And we can all agree that what you all want to see outside of you is a peaceful world, one where others let themselves off the hook and do the best they can. So if you want that for everyone else, perhaps it is time to allow yourself to have it as well. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Being in love. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We have discovered that there is a fine line that humans walk between the idea of being in love with someone and with being obsessed or infatuated with that person. You have many examples of when that initial feeling of love goes to the extreme of obsession in your history. There have been individuals who have committed crimes in order to impress someone that they have infatuated and obsessed with. People have committed suicide over having been rejected by someone they had strong feelings for. And there are many other examples of people going to extremes because of something as beautiful a feeling as love. So it is important to understand what is really happening when you feel that sensation within yourself so that you can activate it and access it when you want to, in spite of whether your affections are reciprocated. When you are in love, you are in that vibration. You find the state of being within you that aligns you with the truest aspect of who you really are. When a person feels that the state is dependent on being able to have access to the individual they love whenever they want that access, and then they are not granted that access by the other person, it does feel like that separation from source feeling that is so problematic on your world. People spend so much time and effort and take so many actions to try to get to that place of reconnection to source, which obviously something that can never really be lost. When people talk about life as an illusion, that is the primary illusion. The primary illusion is that you are separate from source, and then follow that illusion with the one that says, I need that person to love me back, and I need to have access to that person in the flesh, or I will feel that separation from who I really am as unconditional love. Most love is conditional, and unconditional love, being who you really are, is the love you are really seeking. That means you can love someone else, have that love not be reciprocated, and be fine with it. That's what you seek because you seek to be love. not just be in love and have that love reciprocated. We recognize that being in love and having that love reciprocated does make it easier to be who you really are as a source energy being comprised of unconditional love, but you cannot control another person. All you can do is make it your mission to be the love that you want to have reflected back to you. And when that is your mission, you are definitely on the right track. When you love a flower or a sunset, that is when you know you are accessing the love that you truly are very easily. The more conditions you place on being in that state of being, the harder it is going to be for you to be in your physical body and be happy and healthy. So you have to find a way to experience love, to experience your true essence. And we recommend that you do that before you get into the romantic relationship, which may or may not be forever. Accessing that love within you can be as simple as deciding to do so, being heart-centered, and feeling for the love that you truly are. That is our recommendation to all of you. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have connected with you. These particular channelings focusing on ascension, love, and reality creation in particular carry one underlying premise, and that is compassion and unconditional love. Most people only experience love conditionally, and they speak about the sort of love that we have when we become obsessed with someone. And the reason that's happening is there's a part of you that remembers that deep love, that unconditional love. But we're sort of distorted in that process of seeking out that feeling of blissful, unconditional love. And the way that we can experience this unconditional love is to be unconditionally loving. It is always a matter of how you are and what you project out. You are enough. You've done enough. You've loved enough. And it is very easy to question the way you are in this planet, in this ascension process. Now, they emphasize that our process of ascension here is faster than anywhere else in the universe. Now, I had never heard that particular perspective. As I remember, the planet Venus had a very fast transition into a higher dimension, and it appears the Arcturians did too. They claimed that they lived on a planet where everybody was just, like Tibetan monks, just chanting and doing meditation. So another key element that is often emphasized in these channelings that's emphasized here is that you are a source energy being. Just the realization of this, that you are a source energy being, is the key. Now, understand when they say that, that's code for saying that you're divine, that you are God. It's easier to say you're a source energy being. Source energy is God. You are God. But sometimes people don't want to say those particular words. You are a source energy being. Acting that way, understanding that, realizing it is key. The source that is within you, that is who you are, is the thing that you can use to create anything, that you use to create the universe itself. You are a source energy being, something they repeatedly emphasize. They explain that the romantic relationships will change as we shift into this higher density, into the higher dimension. And our relationships will become more fluid, and our understandings of gender will change and will become more flexible. And there are different sorts of romantic relationships that will occur in that dimension, and the roles of dominance and the interactions that occur on these relationships will change. In my interview with Daniel, he explained that once we're fully in the 5D, there is no need for romantic relationships. They can occur, but the relationships we have are different. Really, the place where we're working with the Arcturians in this time comes from our dream state. They communicate with us in our dreams. They're sending energies to us. They even explain here that they're sending energy into the water and food that we eat in order to raise our vibration. And it's interesting to hear from the higher dimensional beings' perspective in the ways they're trying to help us so that we can help ourselves. So I just want to thank Daniel Scranton for the opportunity to read these channelings. It really resonates with me. It's very awakening for me to read these words, activating for me to hear them, wonderful for me to share them with you. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. I am sending all my love and light to everyone listening through the sounds of my words. I see myself awakening you and you awakening those around you, and together we are awakening the world. Welcome to the Reality Revolution.